A very busy and crazy day at the legislature. 20 MLAs have signed a letter saying that they've lost faith in John Rustad as leader, asking him to step aside. The board has also asked him to step aside. He has refused to do so. So the board has declared Rustad professionally incapacitated and have certified his removal and have named Surrey-White MLA Trevor Halford the interim leader while the Conservatives prepare for a leadership race. Meanwhile, John Rustad said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm still the leader." So now you have a party that is split with two leaders, and nothing has changed, even though we've got significant challenges when it comes to our economy and leadership of the NDP, and the opposition is fractured. Give me a call on the open line, 604-280-9898, star 9898 on your cell phone. Let's go to George in Abbotsford. Hi, George.
Hey, Jazz. Good show. Jazz, John Rustad is a living, walking example of someone that's totally deaf, tone deaf for the last 90 days. Mm-hmm. For 90 days, the writing has been on the wall. His arrogance is the only thing holding him back from resigning, and he's doing the party a lot of damage. I'll hang up and listen to your comments.
I have really not much to add. You're absolutely right. This guy's been there since 2005. Look, you've created a new party. You got it to a certain point. The polling numbers show you're not the guy. Yes, party to party, the numbers are very competitive. But when they pit you against David Eby, the numbers aren't very good. That tells you a lot. And there's no doubt we need a government in waiting. Think about the sawmill that just closed on Vancouver Island the other day. Sorry, the pulp mill that closed on Vancouver Island. We'll be covering that issue later on the show as well. Sawmill closed in 100 Mile House just 4 weeks ago. We've got huge challenges when it comes to our relationship with Alberta and the federal government. Our economy is in the tank. A deficit of $11 billion. It'll be bigger even next year. David Eby is just laughing right now. He should be in trouble. David Eby should be worried that he would get ousted by his own party. You know why? If you had a government in waiting right now with the B.C Conservatives, if you had that, they would be in a lot of trouble. But they're not. Why? Because John Rustad will not go away. And somewhere along the way, you got to ask yourself, what is the point here? You've been there since 2005, 2 decades. 2 decades. You've done your part. Move on. Instead, he is holding his own party hostage, and quite frankly, he's holding this province hostage that does want accountability from their government and feel that they do not get it. John, it's you. Look in the mirror. It's been great. See ya. Mike from Vernon, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Josh. You've said a lot of what I was going to say, and what I'm going to break this down to is that I'm getting sick and tired of us being the pawns in this silly bugger game that's played by the politicians of all stripes. And you're not going to like this, but it's played by the media as well. Instead of you guys pick sides, I'm not saying you guys are picking one side or the other, but you do have a tendency to pick sides. And the other thing is that, with all of the mills closing down, everything that's going on, and this is the story today. This is it.
We're covering. No, hang on. Okay, go ahead.
Because I'll finish, then you can go. But then what happens is that stuff gets left behind because this is the big news story. No, the big news story is Harmac and other things. And I wish, when you signed off at the end of the last segment, after you've been talking to Keith, you signed off and then you kind of chuckled that, oh, this is all like, I can't believe this is going on.
Because it has gotten to the point that it's satire, Mike. I am a commentator. I can't because it is satire. It is satire. It is our lives, but it's gotten to satire. This guy needs to go, period, full stop. You're absolutely.
Exactly.
I come from a forestry town. My dad was a sawmill worker. We covered this story yesterday. We're covering it today. I could easily say, hey, it doesn't impact Metro Vancouver. I don't have to cover it. I go out of my way to cover this story because it impacts small town British Columbia. Right?
Yeah, fair
You're
enough.
absolutely right. So the reason I bring this up, because this matters. We always have to have a government waiting. Left wing, right wing, it doesn't matter. Parties get stale. The NDP is getting stale for a reason. Name me one sector that's doing well right now. None of them are. So we should have a government waiting that holds them to account, and knowing full well that the next election comes around, we have a choice. Right now, we don't have a choice. We've got two leaders of the same party. Like, when has that ever happened in our lifetime? This is how bad it has become. And I chuckled because it is satire. God, sometimes you just got to laugh to get through this hot, holy mess that is BC politics and the BC Conservatives. You're listening to the Jazz Johal Show. Back after the break. Welcome back to the show. If you're looking for calm in BC politics today, you didn't get it, that's for sure. 20 Conservative MLAs have signed a letter saying they'd lost confidence in John Rustad. The signature gathering started quietly yesterday. By last night, they had 19. They added one more by this morning. By midday, the BC Conservative Party board declared Mr. Rustad professionally incapacitated, removing him as leader and naming Trevor Halford as interim leader. Now, Mr. Rustad fired back, and as we went to air, he refused to step down. Here he is, just about an hour before we went to air and right before question period began.
So I'm currently still the leader of the party. Nothing has changed since we discussed this morning.
We've heard that there's been a vote of a majority of your caucus, as well as your board of directors.
First of all, there hasn't been a caucus meeting that we've had at this particular point, so obviously there'll need to be a caucus meeting going forward, and at some point I'm sure there'll be some discussion about this.
So that was John Rustad. Just around 2 p.m., he walked into the chamber, took the leader's chair, and told reporters he's still running the party, as you heard there. The caucus, of course, is fractured. So you have an interim leader, Trevor Halford. You have the party leader, John Rustad, who the board says isn't the leader, but he maintains that he is the leader, and the board has no right to take him out. Joining us now is Keith Baldry, Global BC's Legislative Bureau Chief. He joined us at 3 o'clock with the latest at that time. Looks like things have not died down over there at the legislature. Keith, what's going on now?
Yeah, so what we're waiting for now is a ruling from the Speaker, based on legal advice, I think, on who is the official opposition leader. And this is very much part of the parliamentary tradition. There's all sorts of leaders, but only one person can be the leader of the official opposition, or more technically, His Majesty's loyal opposition. And right now, John Rustad, as you mentioned, took his seat in the chamber, sat in the leader of the opposition seat, which is a designated desk in the chamber. So he sat there at question period. The question now is, will he remain as the opposition House leader? So here's the challenge I think the Speaker's got. 20 people have said they want him out, but you cannot disenfranchise the other 19 MLAs who were elected as BC Conservative MLAs and remain as BC Conservative MLAs. So can someone of a group of people of 20 within that group become the opposition leader? Are they still calling themselves Conservatives? Or do they effectively become 20 individual MLAs because they're demanding that they break free from Rustad? If that's the case, they're not a party, and therefore one of them can't be the official opposition leader. But again, this is a whole new territory. We've never been down this road before. It's quite conceivable that he will rule that Trevor Halford is the opposition leader, but it's just as conceivable, based on tradition, that he says, no, John Rustad will remain as official opposition leader. That distinction is important because, again, the party board doesn't really have any standing around this place. It's really up to the MLAs to decide how this place runs, along with the Speaker and the clerk. And that's why they're wrestling with right now, trying to make a decision based on that. And like I say, it's not over today. This is going to go on for some time, no matter what the Speaker's ruling is. If Rustad is effectively no longer the leader of the official opposition, he's still a BC Conservative MLA, and so are the other 19. And perhaps the other 19 start to go with the 20, or some of the 20 break away and have second thoughts about this. Like I say, we've never been through this before. To this type of, we've seen leaders get dumped by caucuses in different ways. We've seen leaders resign in scandals in different ways. We've never seen something like this play out to quite this degree.
So in this case, Rod Shahan, the Speaker, makes the ultimate decision with advice from Kate Ryan Lloyd, the clerk? And
presumably lawyers. This is, again, the Speaker will call on the advice of whoever he wants to call on for making a ruling on any number of things. But the clerk is generally the main provider of advice. But this is uncharted territory. Like we had Carol James faced the caucus revolt in 2011, and her first inclination was to say, no, I'm staying, I'm not leaving. And she stayed for about a week or 2 weeks. But then she finally said, okay, I'm out of here. Maybe we see that with John Rustad, or maybe we don't. Right now he wants to hold the ground. He's very stubborn. He's let on no sign that he's willing to leave here. He thinks this is unconstitutional according to the party's constitution. I would be surprised if he launches his own legal challenge to this as this plays out.
So let's just say the ruling comes, and we're expecting a ruling potentially maybe by the next hour or so, maybe?
Hope so, yeah.
Okay. I want to just play this out. So if it does happen and Mr. Johal rules that Mr. Halford is recognized as leader of the official opposition, does that mean Mr. Halford would walk in tomorrow in question period in the chamber and would sit where John Rustad sits today, and John Rustad would have to find another seat?
Presumably, that's what would happen. But like I say, we've never seen this before. Everything has been a precedent. But presumably, if that's the ruling, that's what would unfold tomorrow morning.
Wow. So I know where you're going to be during question period, watching all of the action. All right,
I'm
Keith.
still in the hallway.
Okay. I know you are. Thank you so much. That is Keith Faldry, Global BC's Legislative Bureau Chief. So there you go. It is at 4:12 right now, and reporters and a lot of political watchers that are in the legislature are waiting for a ruling from the Speaker, Rod Johal, with advice from Kate Ryan Lloyd, who's the clerk there. And I had heard from my own sources that the party, the BC Conservative Party lawyer did provide a letter with the 20 signatories to the clerk earlier today. And I'm not sure if that plays a role in all of this, but just wanted you to be aware of that. But a decision could come within the next hour, as Keith was saying, which could mean if Mr. Halford, the interim leader, the new interim leader, is recognized, that he could technically be the official opposition. So that changes things in regards to who the opposition leader will be, who the media might recognize in regards to holding the government to account, and whatever Mr. Rustad feels he is, whatever he represents. Well, that will be with him and his party. It almost becomes an internal party issue. But for the public and the media, in regards to holding the government to account, it actually probably will come down to Mr. Halford. If all of this is an if Mr. Halford is recognized as the official opposition leader. We'll keep an eye on that. Give me a call on the open line. I want to hear from you on this issue. We've had a major pulp mill close. We have huge issues when it comes to our economy, massive issues. Largest deficit in the history of this province, over $11 billion, an even bigger deficit coming for next year. Softwood challenges when it comes to the U.S. We are feuding with Alberta and Ottawa in regards to a pipeline. Not one sector is doing well here, not one. And I go back to what I've said before. We have to hold the government to account, number one, the media, but especially the official opposition. And they have to be a government in waiting. Right now, we've got two leaders for one party at this moment. We've got feuding MLAs. One is for supporting one side. The others are supporting the other side. It is completely split. And even if it wasn't split, you got MAGA conservatives, you got more centrist conservatives. They're not a cohesive unit. They are not a government waiting. Want to hear from you all of this, because I think it really does speak to how weak our democracy is in this province at this moment. And we need strong leadership, and we need strong opposition, because Donald Trump is not making it easy. It is a hinge moment, as the federal energy minister said last week, and I believe it is. And we've got to be fighting on all cylinders, and we're not doing that right now. 604-280-9898. That's 604-280-9898. Star 9898 on your cell phone. Your call's next. Hey, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, we are talking about Victoria's House of Cards, the BC Conservatives. As of 4:18, have two political leaders, John Rustad and Trevor Halford. That may change by 5 o'clock, but the bigger story here is our democracy and holding the NDP to account. I got to tell you, the happiest man today has got to be David Eby. I think he's like 6'6". He's got to be doing cartwheels in the legislature. I'm not kidding. My God. Oh, it doesn't get any better for the government and the premier than this opposition at this moment. 604-280-9898, star 9898 on your cell phone. Let's go to Dave in Kamloops. Dave, how you doing?
Okay, Jazz, great. Listen, first off, I want to praise you. Don't stop what you're doing. I know there's some factions on the right side that are upset. This stuff, and I'm biting my tongue here, but this stuff that's happening is deplorable. And I don't say that lightly. People are losing jobs right before Christmas. And then I know nobody's taking this light, but who is holding this inept government to, like, John Rustad? he doesn't have the charisma to light a fire. He just doesn't. And what bothers me is there's a faction that are on the right side that know they are 100% aware that this is the closest they will ever come to power in British Columbia politics. And they are not going to let go until you pry it out of the cold hands. And who loses? Ask a family out in Crofton right now. Bring them on. See what they think. It just infuriates me to no end.
Yeah,
And it's a sad part.
I agree with you, Dave, and that's been my frustration. I don't care about culture wars. I do not care about whether you were vaccinated or weren't vaccinated. You know why? It's 2025. We're in the middle of a trade war with Trump. I care about those families on Vancouver Island. I care about those families in 100 Mile House, an hour just south of where I grew up. I care about the community that I grew up in, Williams Lake. They're hurting as well. There are communities throughout this province that are hurting. They really are. And that one job in that sawmill that's gone, that's probably 4 jobs in that community when you look at all the indirect spending. It is god-awful. And you know what? We could see more of it in the next 3 to 4 months in this province. It is an industry in regards to softwood, forestry, that is imploding, folks. And that billions of dollars that come to us, to the coffers of British Columbia, to Victoria, pay for our healthcare and education. This is what downtown Vancouver is about. The towers here, lots of forestry workers here. They may be white-collar workers, but they work in the forest sector. And that's where we must be focused. That's what we must be focused on. It's the economy, stupid. I don't care about debates over ostriches. I don't care about vaccinations. I don't talk about trucker convoys. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about, first and foremost, that the basis of our prosperity is a free and strong free enterprise economy. And we have got that figured out. Everything else will fall into place. We can have those philosophical debates, have those chin wags if you want. But until you get the economy up and running, nothing else matters. And part of that is holding the government to account. And right now, we got 2 opposition leaders, 2 of them with the same party, feuding. And all this silliness behind the scenes, I don't care about any of it. It's the economy, stupid. Let's fix it. Thank you so much for your call, Dave. Let's go to Ryan in Surrey. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Jazz. I'm going to flog a dead horse here, and I know it's a dead horse. But I think yourself and other BC Liberals made a grave error opposing electoral reform. The right would be far stronger. There's 2 parties, one focused on the economy, the other with the culture war issues, because there are people that care more about the culture war than care about the economy. They're going to find a way to have political expression. Putting Eleanor Sturko and Peter Millibar in the same party as Paul Rashford and Dallas Brody was crazy. And no leader, I mean, John Rustad is doing a poor job by poor standards anyways, but no leader is going to be able to keep that coalition together in the long run, because society has fundamentally changed in the last 10 years, and we are more divided on culture issues.
Let me answer that for a second. The BC Liberals stayed in power for 16 years. That's called a dynasty. In 2017, when they lost government, they won more seats than any other party. In 1996, they didn't win, but they won more votes than Glenn Clark. But the way the votes fell, Mr. Clark formed government. So from 1996 to, I would say, 2017 or 2020, they actually were doing just fine. And because they understood the political math, you get federal Conservatives and federal Liberals working towards and focusing on the economy. Generally, that side of the political spectrum wins. That's how it's done. When that math falls apart, which it has at this moment, you get a bunch of culture warriors who hit the moment, hit that Poilievre wave, hit the Trump wave, whatever you want to call it. But they've fallen apart because they can't govern, right? And you're right, you got to govern from the center. But they're not governing from the center. So I don't think it's the BC Liberals screwed up in regards to proportional representation. I think that slows things down even more. And people like accountability locally in regards to who they voted for. That's not a BC Liberal issue at all. What's happened since then is they have not been able to keep that coalition together. And when it falls apart, when Humpty Dumpty falls apart, it's hard to put them back together again, politically speaking, and that's what we're seeing right now. Thank you for your call. Really appreciate it. Let's go to Malcolm in Vancouver. Hi, Malcolm.
I'm just trying to figure out which Shakespeare play this matches. I'm thinking Macbeth. The 3 witches, Bubble, Bubble, Toil, and Trouble. I'm thinking Julius Caesar, Et tu, Brute. And, I know, Hamlet. Alas, Porter York. I knew him well. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Maybe it's just yes, minister. I don't know. Oh, man, only in BC. Just when you thought our politics was getting all straightened out and everything else. And people say, oh, you Jazz, you're laughing. I'm laughing because it's the only thing you can do. only thing that gets me through the day sometimes, quite frankly. Let's go to Dave in Mission. Hi, Dave.
Oh, hey, Jeff. It's pretty hard to follow up that last call. I'm sorry, but, I listened to Rianne Gasper on there, and she's out in my area, even though she's in Abbotsford. And you know what? Like I said to the producer, I said, she's all for John Rustad. I'm sorry, but John Rustad isn't the guy. You got to wrap your head around that. And the sooner these people come to realize that, they got to get their shit together. Because as far as I'm concerned, these people are not going to govern, and we're going to be stuck with the same old from the NDP going forward here, unless these people actually get it together and form a credible party that's going to be able to finally put the NDP out of power.
Yeah. Dave, thank you for your call. Really appreciate it. Folks, give me a call on the buzz line, 604-331-2899. That's 604-331-2899, or email me, jazz@cknw.com.